Greetings in the name of Odun, Odunamare, all that is good and great, all that is blessed and beautiful, all that is creative and conscious, all that is positive and possible. May the warm sun rays greet you each and every morning, and may your day always be full of joy. Hotep, I'm Adisa Olabayo and welcome to my new series, Off My Chest. A series that is dealing with things that irritate, aggravate, and annoy me from a cultural and humanitarian point of view. Now, let me make this disclaimer up front. All the materials that are being used in this series, there is no copyright infringement, there is no solicitation, there is no profits being made. This is for conversation purpose only. Okay? So I wanted to deal with this. And this is going to be a short series. This is 2 for July and 2 for August. Now, I wanted to start this, and I'm going to, I like to try to start this particular thing with a creative thing. So I'm going to do the creativity first. I'm going to play a piece for you that comes from a film in 1966, and then we're going to come back and talk about the topic matter of what I am dealing with.
Means nothing. She is my woman. Before, now, always.
Nothing is for always. Except death. Ask Piero. Ask Francisco. Ask those in the cemetery of nameless men.
They died for what they believed.
The revolution? When the shooting stops and the dead are buried, and the politicians take over, it all adds up to one thing. A lost cause.
So, you want perfection or nothing? Oh, you're too romantic, compadre. La revolución is like a great love affair. In the beginning, she is a goddess, a holy cause. But every love affair has a terrible enemy. Time. We see her as she is. La revolución is not a goddess but a whore. She was never pure, never saintly, never perfect. So we run away, find another lover, another cause. Quick, sordid affairs. Lust, but no love. Passion, but no compassion. Without love, without a cause, we are nothing. We stay because we believe. We live because we are disillusioned. We come back because we are lost. We die because we are committed.
That was the Professionals, a Western that came out in 1966, and it was with Lee Marvin, Burt Lancaster, and Jack Palance. And this is a conversation between Jack Palance and Burt Lancaster. Now, I started that with this because I wanted to deal with a topic that I call the scorched earth movement. All right, a commentary on, a commentary on passion, a commentary on movements and sometimes the blindness of their passion. Movements and revolutions are by nature emotional. Now, the reason why I want to deal with this is because, again, some of it comes out of the Me Too movement, but also the Black Lives Matters movement and all of the other movements that came prior, the 60s movements and things of that nature. Sometimes, because movements are dealing with, although to be fair, the movements that came out in the 60s, particularly the hippie movement, the hippie, wasn't something that, was dealing with people who were oppressed. Most movements are with people who are oppressed. They're subjugated, and it builds, and once it does, the anger, the passion, the emotion erupts like a volcano and spurts out lava and fire and burns. But the problem is that sometimes it burns things that it shouldn't. And I remember in my history class, the teacher was once saying that, revolutions tend to destroy. And it is easy to destroy, but it is harder to build. Right? Now in Kemet, whenever they had a battle and the war was over, they would go and they find the foundation which that building stood on, and they rebuild on that. Right? But the reason why I'm dealing with this is because, again, emotions can be fiery, and they can and the anger can be out there. And that is the case sometimes that I see with the Me Too movement. Now with the Black Lives Matter, they've learned a few things, and so that they, when they have dealt with certain things, they have become practical with it. And there are applications that they have said, okay, this is what we are for, and rather what we are against, Now, I can't think of her name. I think it's Nikki or Mickey, from Morning Joe, the blonde-haired young lady. Her and a sister that was on Roland Martin's Unfiltered. Both of them were dealing with the reality that sometimes with this Me Too movement, we could be damaging the cause by which we're fighting for, right? Because one, you're always going to have opportunists who are in every movement. You're going to have them, and they may come out of the woodworks because it is the moment. They see the moment, they feel the moment, and so they catch on to the moment, and it's like, but they do damage to the overall cause by what you're fighting for, And two, one has to always be careful that you are not damaging the people or the institutions that are fighting for you or in your behalf. Because of your anger, your emotion becomes blinded by that anger, and so you're striking out, and you're dealing with maybe people and institutions that are possibly your ally, so you have to be careful. And third, right, you really have to deal with, what it is that you are seeking. Now, in this case, I know that many of the women in this Me Too movement are seeking justice, and they're just seeking to say, hey, look, this is who we are. We are human beings, and we need to be treated justly and fairly. And I agree with that wholeheartely. I agree with that. But at the same time, as these two young ladies was dealing with, one on Roland Martin and one on Morning Joe, they're dealing with some of the maybe inconsistencies, some of the fundamentals, and again, because movements are emotional, sometimes you don't see it, and so it's not something that is like, I want to get off my chest. It's just a cautionary note, right? Because we've seen these movements in the 60s, and we've seen revolutions, but 9 times out of 10, revolutions tear down. But as Burt Lancaster says, when the revolution is gone, what happens when the politicians come in? And that may also occur even with the Me Too movement. May not be politicians, but maybe these opportunists, or maybe people who don't have the movement's interest at heart, right? So I want to leave you with a prophetic song. Actually, I'm just going to read you some of the lines from the song, and it came from the group called The Who, and the song is entitled Won't Get Food Again. All right? And I'm going to deal with that in my Rockin' the Message videos. And are also dealing with the movements because of the piece that I wrote called Arc of Humanity. And I'm still working on it and hoping to get it out there. All right. But let me read this for you, and I'm going to end on that note. Okay. I'll tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take a bow for the new revolution. Smile and grin at the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play, just like yesterday. Then I'll get on my knees and pray we don't get food again. And later in that song, he talks about, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? So again, be very, very cautious, right? Be passionate, but like Jack Palance says, it's passion, but no compassion. You have to be very careful with it, and again, I hope, these movements, they bring about the change, but again, the change to what, right? And I'm hoping that it will bring about the change for the better, a change for humanity, a society that is more humane. Okay, so that's my first for today. And hit me up on my topic. Hit me up on my YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit the reply button, and leave a commentary. And also hit me up on my Facebook. Hit the commentary and hit the like button. Now, I'm going to play a piece of film, okay? And I'm come back and we're going to talk about that topic of which I entitled Black Mental Disorders.
Scatter D.
No D. Scatter didn't know D. Somebody killed him.
Who do you think did it?
A lot of people hated Scatter. How much stuff we got left now?
About half a key out in the street.
Let's take what we have now and split.
Are you crazy? You know damn well who killed Scatter. And we fuck up, he'll kill us too. Besides, got it beat. We'll make a fortune. Just don't rock the boat, man.
It's worse now than it was before. But that man owns us. You understand that, Eddie? To him, we're not real. He'll just use us and then kill us.
Man, people have been using me all my life. Yeah. That hunky's using me, so what? I'm glad he's using me. Because I'm gonna make a piss pot full of money. And I'm gonna live like a prince, a fucking black prince. Yeah, this is the life. I could be nothing nowhere else. And about his killing me, shit, I don't care. As long as he lets me live to be an old motherfucker. And I ain't gonna do nothing to make him kill me now.
Suppose I could figure a way out of this shit.
I ain't going.
Scene between Eddie and Priest in the film Superfly. Now, I wanted to start that with that because of the topic that I want to deal with, the Black Mental Disorder, dealing with the disorientation about understanding their environment, praising whites for something when the reality is totally different. Now, in this case, Eddie was very happy with the fact that he was being used by whites, and this is something that blacks have to deal with. There's this kind of disorientation, right? being so enamored at the white power structure that they're not even seeing the beauty about themselves. They're not even looking at what it is that they have done. I've seen on Facebook and others where you have blacks really not really understanding who they are, the environment by which they're in, the suppression, the oppression that they're under. And like Eddie, they're willing to give up the whole psychic. They're willing to give up the whole thing. It's almost like what Maulana Karenga says. I could believe, whatever. I can imagine that I'm a Venusian. I can imagine that I'm this and that, but it does not necessarily correlate to reality. And that's sometimes the problem that, we get into. You see a lot of blacks who wear the three-piece suits and the ties and everything really believe in the fact that they're doing something, and that they're disoriented. And that is something that irks me. Right? When you get and many sometimes you get blacks who, and the last time I was talking about my liberal white friend, you get blacks who are so caught up in it. I remember I was at SUNY, and I was on the SUNY bus, and I was riding up to SUNY, and I was sitting. These two sisters were sitting behind me, and another sister was sitting beside me, and we got talking, and this other sister said, she was mortified. She was mortified because in Albany, Albany was a really racist state, racist city, and so was Syracuse, by the way. But she was mortified because a month ago, some idiot white yelled out to her and her friend the N-word. She was mortified because where she lived in Long Island, she went to a predominantly white school. And doing that, whites do not feel that they have to be overtly racist. They can be covertly, but not overtly. So because they're in numbers, they're in strength. And the sister did not understand that. And so she became disoriented by her environment, the situation that she was in, And this is what happens to many brothers and sisters, and that's what's happening now. Even with people, criticizing those beautiful brothers and sisters with the Black Lives Matter. I know that there's this sister out there. I ain't gonna call her name. I know that there's sister out there who, she was quote unquote Democrat. Now she's all in with the orange man, and she was working with, I think, this guy Kirk or somebody, and she's dealing with this kind of disorientation, and this kind of fantastical thing that is not real. She is like, it's unreal. This is unreal, But yet she is caught up in that whole, giving the power to already the powerful, and that's what happens with us. And so I wanted to kind of bring that forward and have a discussion on it, and see if you all have any examples about that. right? But it is something that we as African Americans have to deal with. We're going to have to really deal with that. If we're going to move forward in our liberation, and we're going to move forward in a more humane way, we're going to have to deal with that reality about those blacks who are disoriented in who and what they are, not only as blacks or as African American, or as I would say, an Afrocentric African cultural being becoming, but as a people, as a human being, because that's the crux of what you should be striving for, of being human and being respected and accepted as being human. So that is my, getting off my chest, and something that bothers me, and I wanted to get it off my chest. So hit me up on my YouTube channel. Hit the like button and the commentary button. Leave a comment. And also hit me up on my Facebook. Leave a comment and hit the like button and hit the share button. And until the next time that we come back, for both of the topics that I did today, take a breather, sit back, analyze, read, get to know the movements that you're dealing with, and also get to know who you are as a black person. Strive always to have that knowledge base and be passionate, but at the same time be compassionate. Don't let the emotion, be your weapon. Let it be your guide. All right? And let your beautiful black spirit come out and rise and be a part of a beautiful and wonderful people's or black nation movement. And until next time, this is this Olabayo Bankole saying, peace out.